In Outlook 2003, sharing your calendar could be done from the navigation pane by sharing your calendar or opening a calendar that's been shared with you. When you choose these, you then get to choose the calendar properties and who you wish to share them with. Now, this had to be done from within Outlook. In Outlook 2010, things have changed drastically. First of all, when you select Calendar in the navigation pane, you no longer see links in the navigation pane to the various options for sharing a calendar. Instead, with the Home tab selected on the ribbon, you'll notice a group for sharing calendars. So we can email a calendar, we can share a calendar, publish it online, and adjust calendar permissions from this group. Let's start by sharing our calendar. We'll click the Share Calendar button, which creates a brand new email message, which is an invitation to your own calendar. So the first step is to select who you want to share this with. If you're on an Exchange server, you can click the To button and get access to your global address list and select the people you want to share your calendar with. You can use the Shift key if you want to select a group. Click the To button, which adds them to the To field, and click OK, and now you see those names. Notice the subject is written for you automatically. It's a sharing invitation to your own calendar. If you want to be able to view their calendars, you can also request that right from here by clicking the checkbox. If it's not necessary, leave it unchecked. Allow the recipient to view your calendar, and if that's checked off, you can then adjust the details. You want them to see when you're available only and not actually see what's booked in your calendar or any of those details? Or do you want to click the drop down and choose limited details? They'll be able to see the title of your event in your calendar, but not the full details unless you select full details from the bottom. So let's leave it at availability only. So free time, busy time, tentative, and out of office time will be shown. Down below, you'll see the name of the calendar you're about to share. This is an email message, so you can click in the message section and add additional info. So when you click send, you need to confirm you want to do that with all those recipients. Click yes, and automatically it's prepared for sharing. Those messages are sent out. People will get an email message saying they're invited to view that calendar. Clicking the link will allow them access to the calendar, and they'll be able to choose the calendar, their own or the calendar that's been shared with them. So that's one option for sharing your calendar. Another option is just to send out an email with a portion of your calendar. Click the Email Calendar button, and you get this dialog box first, where you get to choose the calendar. So if you've got more than one, like a team calendar, your own personal calendar, and so on, you can select it from this drop down. And then the date range. Do you want them to see today, tomorrow? Do you want them to see the next week, 30 days, the whole calendar? Or do you want to be able to specify dates? You can do that, which will give you the drop downs to select the specific dates. I'm going to go from the 11th right through to the end of the next week. And again, you can choose the detail level by clicking the drop down. Availability only, limited details, full details, it's up to you. Now you can also choose to allow them to see only the working hours that you've set up by clicking the show time within my working hours only. You'll want to have set up your working hours, and if you haven't already, there's a link right here in this dialog box for doing that. Setting your working hours from 9 to 5, 8 to 4, whatever. You can choose what those working hours are, and the people you share this calendar with by email will only be able to see what's going on in those hours. So when we click OK, you might see a message if you don't have anything booked. In this case, I don't have anything booked in that date range, so it's just warning me that that's going to happen. I can change my dates if I wanted to, or just simply continue. And when I click continue, this is the email message that is going to be sent to whoever I want to send this to. You can see my calendar down below. You can see the dates that are available. And control clicking will allow the person to follow the link and see what's going on in that day. At least see availability, which is the detail level I selected. Now, who do I want to send it to? I click the To button on the Exchange server, and I can pick and choose who should be able to see this info. Click the To button. When I click OK, they're now going to receive this email with links to those dates in my calendar. When I click send, off it goes. So that's a cool way to share your calendar if you want to specify a portion of your calendar for people to see. Another option, new here, is publish online. So now if you've got a Microsoft.com registration, and you click this drop down, you can publish your calendar to Office.com. Then people who are also registered there can actually go in and see your calendar. Again, get to pick and choose who's going to be able to view your calendar and the detail level. But it's a way to allow people who don't even have Outlook to see your calendar, which will help them again in booking meetings and so on. Now, when it comes to permissions, you can also adjust your permissions by clicking Calendar Permissions. And here's where you're going to see who you've already given access to. So they're going to show on the list. And if there's somebody you realize, oh, they shouldn't have it, you can select them and remove them. You could add additional people from here or adjust their permission levels by clicking Properties. So if we want to select somebody and adjust their properties, you can see we've got the contact card here for a person that we selected. We can get additional details by adding it here, organization, phone notes, etc. And if we want to add them to our contacts, we could do that from here as well. Here's our permission level set to custom. Again, you've got access to all of those. Custom means we picked and choose. What can they read? Free busy time. If you want to make changes, change it to full details. You could do that from here. Notice the permission level changes to reviewer. And you could also give them write access so they can go in and start creating things in your calendar, editing things in your calendar, and so on. So you can give them full access to your calendar if you needed to. I think of somebody who has an assistant who needs to be able to get into the calendar and book appointments for the person they're working for. This is a great way to adjust their permissions. We'll just click Cancel here to move on. So if you're going to be sharing your calendars in Outlook 2010, you've got many more options, methods for sharing your calendar. And remember, you've always got access to those calendar permissions so you can pick and choose the levels and who's going to have what type of access to your calendar.